facial recognition. As you can see, I just used it. Okay, I'm not gonna do that, bars. All right, so we are in the spotlight, and we're in the spotlight with the Galaxy S20 Plus. How many of you guys are still using this device? How many of you are doing it? So a couple of things I want to talk about before I start this video. This is because a lot of you guys have been questioning a lot, you know, Jay, what is that? What is that? Well, here is my Sony ZV-1. So this is not being filmed with the Sony ZV-1. It's being filmed with the Sony A6100 with my Boya mics. That's questions that people like to ask. And then also hit that join button down below if you haven't already done so. Got some great things going on for members only right now. And also the merchandise. There are some new merch is going to be coming in. I've got a professional logo getting made right now from a professional designer. So I'm waiting for that official logo and print to get done so I can send it over and start uploading that to the merch store. So as of right now, there's a single shirt down there in multiple colors. I think you better grab one before I take it down. If you're interested or considering buying the merch, you need to go ahead and grab it now before I take it down. I grabbed me a couple different colors. You know, why not? It's my own shirt. Got to start promoting it. So I think you guys need to hit that up before it's too late. So the Samsung Galaxy S20 Plus. How many of you guys are still using this device? I think there's plenty of people that are still using the Ultra, the S20, or the S20 Plus. And I, for one, feel like the S20 Plus was middle ground. I think this is the one to buy. And here's why. Price, it's right in the center. It's kind of leveled out just enough. Now we're talking about Samsung phones. Let's be clear here. All three of these devices are really way overpriced. However, if you're thinking about getting a Samsung device, I think the S20 Plus was the one to get, and it still is the one to get for a number of reasons. You do get that high refresh rate, but you also get that Quad HD display if you want to. You also get a nice size display. You don't get this huge footprint in your hand if you think it's too big to hold. Yeah. Put a nice skin on it like that from SophieGuard, SophieGuard.com. Be sure to get your skin from there. It's the only one I rock with. So I think that the size of the phone, the display refresh rate, the display itself is just right on point. Now the Ultra is an Ultra. It's a lot bigger display. It's a lot bigger phone. And the Galaxy S20 is a smaller display with a smaller phone. But the footprint of the S20 Plus, I think it's right on point. It's like that sweet spot for big phones. And this is in fact a big phone, but you see these massive hands I got here. So keep that in mind. This is a big phone, but it's just all screen. And the fact that I'm using a black wallpaper definitely makes it look a certain type of way. And all phones are going to look small in my hands because I'm a big guy and I got these big hands right here. So don't forget that. So the display, you know, the price, kind of middle ground. The display is absolutely awesome. Samsung displays are fantastic. There's no getting around that. They make some of the best. To me, they don't have the best, but they definitely are at the top 1 or 2 spot because I personally rank Sony's displays, their 4K OLED displays, over these displays right here. Personal preference, call it how you want to call it, see how you want to see it. That's my view on that. So the Galaxy S20, if you notice something about this phone, I'm using gestures. Now, I remember sending out a message on my community tab for YouTube saying, you know, hey, you know, Apple gestures are way better than Android gestures and, you know, navigation. And I still stick firm on that. They're a little bit more fluid. But ever since I've been using my OnePlus 7 Pro and my 7T regularly, I'm using gestures on there. So and any phone that has gestures, I pretty much turned on the gestures to get used to that because I know that in the future, navigation buttons are probably going to go away. And so we won't even have an option for buttons on the phone. So thanks to Apple for getting me used to it. Thanks to OnePlus for really confirming it. And thanks to the Google Pixel 4 XL and Pixel 4 Team Pixel Stand Up for getting me used to gestures. And now I can pretty much use gestures on any Android phone that I pick up. I pretty much have gotten myself used to it. Yeah, it's not as fluid as the Apple devices, but nonetheless, still pretty good. So when you're dealing with the Galaxy S20 Plus, now what you're facing is wait a minute, there's a whole bunch of phones to consider in 2020. And, it's one thing we know is that this is Samsung. They have proven themselves to be a solid company, and the phones they bring out are solid. The only flaw that I found in nearly every manufacturer, not just Samsung, is the price. The price of these phones are really expensive. I mean, really expensive. They don't hold back. These phones are expensive. And so if you want to get a phone like this, if you don't have a trade-in, a BOGO or something, you are getting ready to come up off that bread. Simple as that. You getting ready to come up off some serious paper, and that's just a part of how they do it, man. If you don't want to support them, stick with the lower tier, I guess, if you will. I don't really call them. I try not to label them too much because I think there's a phone for everybody, but we're talking about the S20 Plus. So if you don't want to spend the money on the S20 Plus, you've got the A51 and the A71. Those to me are just the top tier mid-range Samsung phones, period. Hit up wirelessplace.com to grab those devices if you choose to do so. The A71 and the A51 are now officially being sold in the US, but they are twice the price just because they have this 5G logo. Don't buy into it, folks. If you're going to get those phones over the S20 Plus or any of the S20 line, definitely pay full cost for those, because it's totally not worth $600 for A51 just because it's on a carrier. Or Samsung trying to sell the A51, I think it is 71 is $600, and the 51 is freaking like $400 or $500. Don't do that. The S10 Lite $600, but don't do that. No, get it elsewhere if you can. But you're getting a whole bunch of phone with the Galaxy S20 Plus. You're getting an in-screen fingerprint reader, facial recognition, as you see. Facial recognition, as you can see, I just used it. Okay, I'm not going to do that, bars. But, you get facial recognition, and you get an in-screen fingerprint reader. You get all the bells and tweaks and everything you could want from a flagship. You get wireless charging. You get the fast wireless charging, fast charging. You don't get a headphone jack, but at the same time, I don't think I really care that it doesn't have a headphone jack. I don't care. I feel like at this point in the game, so what? I mean, Bluetooth is so affordable at this point. I don't think people are really sweating it too much. Now, personally, I think the 3.5 millimeter headphone jack should be on every phone, because even though some of you younger cats are saying, that's old news, you cannot beat the sound. I know Type-C audio is good, and I know Bluetooth is good. You have aptX wireless Bluetooth now, but you can't beat some of the sounds that you can get via that 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. If you've got a phone with a good DAC, case in point, my LG V60 is upstairs on my office desk, but you got a phone like that, it's shutting down everything probably just about when it comes to audio. You plug something in, and if you got high power 3.5 millimeter headphones like I do, you get the gist of some of just the best sound ever, period. So the Galaxy S20 Plus, while it's halfway through its life of 2020, or half of its life is over just from being in the smartphone world, because, things change really fast with smartphones, this is still a very fast phone. It's blazing fast when it opens up applications, if that's important to you. Overall, this is a fast device. It's got some good internals. You can get it with lots of RAM. And you consider that, phones today, having more than 4 gigs of RAM today, that's like, whoa, you got phones with 12 gigs of RAM, man, 16 gigs of RAM. That's incredible. So the Galaxy S20 Plus, or the 20 or the Ultra, I think they're all good options. It's just now, I think you should probably start looking for deals if you decide to buy this device. And even Samsung is having discounts and everything with the phone. So I think if you're going to get it on a carrier, make sure they give you some kind of buy one, get one free, or, get it at a discounted rate. Do not pay the full cost for this device. If you don't have a trade-in, try to work out some kind of deal, or grab the international version. It won't hurt you, because these phones are a little dated at this point. I know it's a new phone, but it's definitely dated according to the smartphone world. So you want to be careful about buying this phone for over $700-800, especially the Ultra. You can find the Ultra. They were selling the Ultra online. I say they, quote unquote, they, just retailers or some companies were selling it for $1,000 already. And the Ultra is an expensive phone. So you should be able to grab the S20 Plus for a really good price if you're interested in Samsung phones, especially people who have the older S9 on down. You really need to consider the S20 Plus, the S20, or the S20 Ultra. I think it's totally going to be a huge upgrade for you. And I think you'll be hard pressed to not like this display, or, you know, just to not like the cameras. And speaking of cameras, battery life on here is fantastic. But speaking of cameras, if you decide to use this phone for vlogs, what you might run into is the front camera being a little too soft, and the rear camera can really knock it home, man. This rear camera shoots in 8K, and it also shoots in 4K. But I like the 4K footage on here. The 8K is cool. It's very sharp, very detailed. But 4K is, and shoot 4K 30. If you're going to do a vlog, just do 4K 30. 60 is cool, but 4K 30, your videos are going to be fantastic. Trust me. And I would suggest that you use the rear camera actually for doing vlogs. The front camera, in my humble opinion, comes across a little too soft for my taste, but some of you guys might like it. Some of you guys might want to turn on beauty mode because you might have rough skin or something. I don't know. But I prefer the detail that the rear camera gives, especially with the live focus, and you have live focus video as well. That is just something that it's just flat out incredible. Live focus video, you just go into the more settings, and then you go to live focus video, and there's different filters and things that you can do. You can do like a black and white. You can do a whole bunch of stuff with it, man. So live focus video is absolutely fantastic. I'm telling you, folks, this is something that I think you'll probably really enjoy. Especially, I like the black and white filter, so it's very cool. So you can do a portrait style video, and it's very impressive. I don't think you will find another camera that's going to give you such good quality footage from a rear camera in a certain bracket when it comes to flagships. One phone that's definitely doing well is the LG V60. And right now, the Galaxy devices can't really be phones of the year for me. I think that leads and leans over to V60 territory because you get so much more phone for a lot less in price. So you need to consider that phone too. But for right now, the Galaxy S20 is a safe bet from Samsung. It's a well-known OS. We all know what it is. It's loaded with the, something that people forget is it has the side menu too. You can do all these things on the side menu. I think that's really cool. But honestly, a lot of people at this point probably don't really use that too much. But I think if you're a person who keeps your phone until it breaks, which is 2, 3, 4 years, however well you are with your phone, then you're probably going to dig apart everything in this phone, and you're going to definitely figure out all the kinks and quirks and things and get it set up how you like it until it breaks. So the Galaxy S20 Plus, the Galaxy S20, the Galaxy S20 Ultra, all fantastic devices from what I can see at this point, and I like how Samsung is staying on top of the software updates with the security patches. Now, that's not that important to me, but it might be important to you. It's your man Jay. Hope you guys enjoyed. Galaxy S20 Plus, still a hit. I like it. See you in the next one. Take care.